Bong bong, what's good, everybody? Welcome to the Bodycast, the official podcast for the subreddit r/rap battles. Once again, no copacetic. He is still gallivanting, I believe, in Mexico on his honeymoon. So,
Oh yeah.
I mean, shouts out to him. I guess we gave him congrats last weekend. We don't need to give him congrats again this weekend. He's hitched. Good stuff.
Well, hey, you didn't hear congrats from me, so congrats, go.
There we go. With that being said, I will let the man himself introduce with me today.
Yes, sir. It's the boy CJA, aka Young Christmas, because I'm so motherfucking gifted. Rado, G.I. Go, family shit, Rainmakers, every goddamn line. You know the vibes.
Yeah.
You know the vibes.
Just cruising every day in his 6'4".
Dude,
fact. The time that we had scheduled this for ended up being like literally at the end of CJ's fucking work shift. So he's on his way home, but he'll be more situated in just a little bit. And God forbid he fucking crashes on his way, because I'll never forgive myself.
I'm about to pull into the little parking space right now. If they let dead ass, of course they're doing pavement where I wanted to fucking park. Dead ass? Ain't no fucking way. All right, well, detour. We're gonna take.
As long as you don't got to cross any train tracks, bro, then my anxiety.
No, we're good. We're good, bro. And I'm looking both ways. You know the vibes.
Let's go. Plug your social media and shit too.
Okay, so you can follow me on any social media you can find at This Is CJA. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook's not it, but Facebook is just Christian Jacob Alexander. My OnlyFans is this. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, man, that's where you can find me on pretty much any social media at this point. It's just that same @ So follow me.
Let's go. r/rap battles is, of course, the largest online forum for the international culture of battle rap. You can find us on Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, and on the official Discord server in the links below. Once again, it has been a week, and I still don't know how to add any links into the description. That is completely Nathan and Cope's job. So they'll come back in, and they'll be able to fix that in just a little bit. But it's the only place for fans to go for battle rap news from around the globe. And when it comes to all of you people around the globe, all of you fans, you are all fantastic. I mean, it's without question at this point that you're just out of this world. In fact, if each of you had a little bit of alien DNA inside of you, it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever, because you are the next step in the evolution of people, those who like this podcast. Well, yeah, you would agree with that, CJ? What would you think?
I would 100% agree with that. If you don't watch this podcast, you're a fucking bum. And if you're not in tune to leagues around the world, you're a fucking bum. America gets its just due. Canada doesn't get its just due. England doesn't get its just due. Fucking South Africa doesn't get its fucking just due. The Philippines don't get their just due. Be a fan of the culture if you're gonna be. I'm parked in a random hotel parking lot, but we're gonna make it happen.
Let's go. So yeah, I guess at this point in time, I should ask, you got a drink on you by any chance?
Normally I got a vape. We can do a fucking. Well, if you got a drink, I can cheers with a vape.
That works. So
okay,
today, once again, no cope. We're back wildin'. Don't act childish. I'm using a CJA quote because it's cueing the cheers. And everyone, hold up your glass, whatever it is, a vape for the community cheers.
Community cheers.
This is my pop or soda, I guess, for you Americans substitute.
Yeah.
It's made by Michael Bublé. It's just fucking carbonated.
Oh yeah, Michael Bublé. It's bubbly, right?
Yeah, just carbonated water with a little bit of flavor, and I've had to fucking teach myself to like it so that I don't drink sugar.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it sucks.
Bro, it is absolutely awful. But the more you drink it, the better it is for your body. So you got to justify it.
Dude, I was about to pull into the Costco and just buy a fucking beer to shotgun on the fucking podcast, but the parking lot's closed. So now I'm at a double tree. So
Oh my gosh. One of those things. Well, with all of that being said, I guess we could get into the big thing that happened in the community yesterday. And we normally don't focus too much on America because it's always focused on America. But
right.
on this episode, we are going to, because this is NOME 12. It was a big deal. NOME is always a really big deal. And there was a lot of wild shit that ended up happening on this NOME, from expectations for certain people and different it was wild. And so we're going to get right into it, and we'll talk about Danny versus Nun, because I'm pretty sure that was the start, wasn't it?
Yep, because it was supposed to be JC and Swamp, but they main evented for the 100 grand, right?
Yeah, and that ended up being 120 grand even. But yeah, let's
Gerald McCoy, a guy who I don't know, he's a really big battle rap fan. He's an American football player, for those who don't know. He played for the Bucks, the Cowboys, a bunch of different teams. Those are the two big ones, though. But yeah, him adding an extra 20 grand to the pot was crazy.
Yeah, that's super, super cool. And that's 2 tournaments in a row now, too, that URL's ended up having somebody that's added a little bit extra on top. So
yeah, who was the first one? I don't know the guy.
Yeah, I don't know who that is either. Yeah, I don't know what country he's from either.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
Something about sixes or something like that. I don't know.
Something strange. Some random dude. A little bit too much money to give away. So
yeah. But with Danny and Nun though. So originally when I watched it, I had Danny 2-1, but I rewatched it back and I think I have Nun 2-1.
Really?
I do. I think Danny's first was, besides the rebuttals, kind of lackluster. Like, it wasn't amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought Nun was firing on all cylinders in the first. All cylinders. I thought he was landing everything. And I think, I don't know, it's just, are these employees going to come over to my car right now and tell me to leave? Look like nurses. Like, oh, they might just be going to their car. Yeah, they're just going to their car. But yeah, I had Nun 2-1, first and third, I want to say.
Yeah.
And pretty clear, like, I don't know. I think it was pretty clear to me.
Yeah, once you got the second watch on it, it's a little bit more obvious.
Shout out John Cena for the hat, by the way. He didn't get me, I bought it, but just still shout out John Cena.
Did you see him?
You can't see him.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Understand. That makes sense.
He actually personally delivered it to me, but I couldn't see him, so.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a floating box.
Just one of those things. Are we at the stage now where we have to consider that Danny is just a rebuttaler now?
No. But I think you got to put him up there in the GOAT rebuttaler conversation, though. I think he has to be up there with the Trezes, the Sharons, the A-Wards. I think he has to be up there with all three. Like, I think he's next on that list.
Yeah.
I mean, Big Cannon probably up there too.
A-Ward, of course.
But yeah. Oh, I said A-Ward, didn't I? Sharon, Trez, A-Ward?
I can't remember.
But yeah, I think we got to put him in that kind of like GOAT tier of rebuttaler conversation. I still think he's a punchline god, and he writes so well. But from experience, I know that can be beat, and I think Nun did that.
Yeah. I really thought that Nun capitalized on his opportunity to, for one, be on I can assume it's the biggest stage he's been on yet. Definitely. And have it be NOME. And he really showed out. And I think he put some hate to bed with that.
Definitely. And I think it could be his biggest op to date, you know, with maybe besides Nitty. But I'm thinking,
does that really count, though?
Huh? Yeah, I know.
Does that Nitty battle really count?
Yeah, it's not like they locked. It was a band battle, right?
Yeah, it was a 1-rounder, and
yeah. So I mean, I think 1-rounders count, but like, I think that's his biggest 3-round battle by far, and I think he made the most of that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So, shout out to Nun, man, because small town kid. He's always showed me love personally, but I don't know, man. I I'm just so proud in what he's become battle rap wise.
Yeah. No, it was a pretty impressive battle overall, I would say.
Great way
One
to start.
thing,
I felt like NOME. I think most of the battles on NOME kind of just fizzled out after like round one of each battle.
yeah,
Because after round one of like every fucking battle, except for maybe Geechee and Hollow, it
yeah,
felt like there was like no energy left after the first.
yeah, almost like the crowd just lost
Well,
their ability to be into it.
dude, especially, I mean, Geechee's second wasn't great, let's
Yeah.
say, but like they were silent, dead silent through that round, dead
Yep.
silent. You know, so. But in overall, though, the crowd I thought was awesome. I just wish they had that same energy they did in the first rounds through all three. Shout
Yeah.
out everyone who did their fucking thing, man.
Yeah, facts. One thing that we got to talk about a little bit too, because I've seen it floating around right now, and it was kind of made to be a big point. But so we were talking about how Danny's rebuttals were the impressive thing that he had.
You're right.
But one of his best rebuttals was also one of Frack's lines that he had
Yep.
said
I
to
tweeted that
Geechee.
yesterday.
Yes, you did. And so, in your opinion, now Danny is EFB. He's in the group with Geechee. So it's one of
Right.
those situations where I didn't see it good enough to get away with it at this point? And does it take away from how good the rebuttal was?
I think it takes away for how good of the rebuttal was for me because I didn't go crazy on that rebuttal. I went
Yeah.
crazy on the third one. He had three of them things, right? He had
Yeah.
three. He had the first one, which was the Black Man is God.
And then it was
And
the
then
auto tune,
oh yeah, the auto tune.
which was crazy.
That was the third one, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's the one I went crazy for. And then the second one, I can't remember what it was, but I remember it being kind of lackluster. Like, I wasn't overly impressed with the first one just because I literally heard that bar last month.
Yeah.
And then the third one was super fire though.
Yeah, the auto tune one was pretty great. So I would say great battle to start off the night. Definitely good job for both of them for capitalizing on huge stages for them, especially for Danny because this was his first NOME on the big stage as well. Last
Right.
NOME was in the small room. So then we had after that Shine versus Real Sick.
Oh man, as an iBattle guy, you know,
Yes.
I really wanted Sick to go in there and just dominate, but man, when K-Shine came out with fucking no like dread / cornrows, I was like, oh, it could get spooky, right? Like something's up. Something's up. That man is in a different type of bag. I had K-Shine with a 30.
Yeah.
Personally, I thought that was performance of the night. I thought he did really well, especially for a comeback battle. He showed no ring rust at all. But I thought that was a 30 clip to say the least.
Yeah.
I thought Sick was good. I thought he had some material, but man, I think the name of the game of that battle was momentum. And Sick, whether it was the mic issues or fighting the crowd or fighting Shine on a return battle, is tough enough as it is.
Yep.
But he could not establish any momentum in that fact.
Yeah, I agree. And this is a situation now too. And I'm going to bring this up a couple times throughout the night because it was pretty obvious that it was almost like a theme that some of the battlers had. But this wasn't just Shine's return battle after taking a break. This was Shine's return to form because his last few battles were very lackluster.
Shine was back. Sometimes like battlers really just do need to take a break when their style's starting to get figured out, and and they're having more debatable battles than they were in their quote unquote prime.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need that break. I'm on the same type of time. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to take a break myself. So I understand the aspect of why that break was taken and why it's needed at certain points. Because Shine looked better than ever. That looked like vintage fucking Shine.
Yeah. Yeah. And as Jimmy said here, the Hollow and Easy battle, they were very, very clear losses for Shine.
Yeah.
And we're talking about K-Shine at the time of the Hollow and Easy battles was a guy who you did not expect to have a clear loss. It was always a debatable.
Right.
So it was really good to see him get back into his bag and really sort of hit stride again after that little break. And like we were talking about with Sythe, I mean, I don't know if it was actually booked as short notice as the announcement was, or if it was booked when the rest were announced,
Right.
or if it was the
I
mic
think Sythe said
issues.
he had a week prep.
A week prep?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I think Sythe said in the battle. I can't remember exactly, but
Something like that. But
yeah.
the definitely had some mic issues too that really, and that kind of seemed like it happened not to the same extent that Sythe had, but there was some issues with the mic throughout the night, I would say.
Yeah, I would say not to the extent of Sythe, but
No.
definitely some throughout the night for sure. But that's battle rap, man. You got to kind of roll with the punches, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. One of those unfortunate things, I guess. So overall, glad to see Shine back where we all expected him to be, and hopefully it doesn't take a break like this every time for him to have a performance like that, and we can see him a little more frequently.
Bro, because that's the Shine like I kind of formulated my performance with is just like that crazy animation and shit like that, man. So seeing him do that on that stage is inspirational for sure, and hopefully that'll help me elevate a little bit too. We'll see.
Definitely. And so, in contrast now, because this is something that's actually kind of interesting, I guess, is that we have K Shine absolutely fucking smoke his return. Like you were saying, sometimes you just need a break to really get back into the feel for things.
Right.
And now you have Hollow versus Geechee. And you have Geechee with his first and second that really seemed like,
man,
honestly, it really seemed like he should fucking do what K-Shine did.
And take a break. I was thinking the exact same thing, bro. I think Geechee needs to sit back for 6 months.
Literally.
Make us miss him.
Yeah, because, and we'll talk about why that's not going to happen shortly, because that's a pretty important thing, but it's getting to the point where everyone's oversaturated with it. It's just too much. We're seeing him battle too frequently.
Yep.
And so it's a break, I think, is definitely needed. Now, with that being said, his third was fucking crazy. His third was what we want for 3 rounds from him.
100%, bro. I was sitting there watching the third, remember just like live tweeting and be like, yo, where was this in the first and second? Like, it looked like he had no confidence in himself in the first 2. None. I don't know if that was just hollow or maybe I don't think stage fright, because I mean Geechee's dominated stages for years, but it just felt like it wasn't Geechee those first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was or what it was, but it didn't feel like that was Geechee Gotti to me. And then that third round came, and I was like, oh, where the fuck was this? Because, like, this is what we need.
Yeah. And it was, the shitty thing about it, it was drastic. We're talking about the levels between the first and second and the third. It was huge.
Right.
And so that completely opens the door for everyone to say that Hollow won that battle, which is also,
I think he did.
I think he did as well. This is a situation where Hollow also seemed to kind of figure things out. I mean, Cope and I've talked to a bunch of people, it really has been feeling like Hollow doesn't know what to do anymore with the new crowds and how to battle to get the same reaction he used to. And it almost seemed like he figured that out with this battle. He was much more, and this is also interesting, because do you consider him to be more dominant with his material, or is it because Geechee's material was so lackluster that it looks to be that way?
I wasn't overly impressed with either battler in that battle. I think the fans really lost that battle. There wasn't like a clear winner or loser to me. I mean, if I have to pick a winner, it's Hollow. I think he got the first rounds, but like that battle was just low key kind of a letdown to me.
Yeah.
Well, so I think Hollow definitely had glimpses of the old Hollow. But I still think he's in that feeling out the new crowd process. So we'll see how he does. Hopefully next time around we'll see him against whoever that next big guy is. But I don't know, man. Hollow hasn't brought his A game like he used to me. So
and we're
but we
talking
can't expect. That's something with fans. We can't expect battlers to always be in their bag at every single fucking chance they get. Right?
100%.
Like we need K-Shine to take a break. We need Geechee to take those breaks. But we also need. I think we need Hollow to be more active. I think the way he figures this out is the trial and error. Yeah, he's going to have a couple bad performances or not impressive performances, but I think he has to feel out the new crowd. He has to learn what they like and kind of revamp himself. Not reinvent, but revamp. And just modernize it a little bit.
Well, and this is the shitty thing about it as well, is that he's not experiencing any pressure to do that, because in his battle with Nitty wasn't at the same level that he is. So Hollow squeaks by and wins that battle. Is it disappointing? Yeah, but he still won. And then he battles K-Shine. Same thing. K-Shine was disappointing. Hollow squeaks by, even though his material wasn't great, and he gets the win. And now Geechee, same thing. Geechee has 2 bad rounds. Technically, Hollow wins this battle, even if he's not, 100% figured out with all of these things. So he's now experienced 3 battles against 3 of the better names. Obviously, Geechee and Rum are top 1 and 2 almost in a lot of people's rankings. And he wins these battles, but he's not feeling the pressure where I got to do something different, because technically what he's doing, it's still working. It's getting him wins. Exactly. And so it's one of those shitty situations where I agree with you. He needs to battle a little more frequently and take some guys that maybe they just got to take him more seriously and really try and absolutely body him so that he pushes through it.
Someone needs to kick his ass. Like, someone needs to, dirty 30 him to the point where there's no debate on it.
Yep.
But I understand he's a legend. That's definitely hard to do. But, someone's got to fucking do it, man, because I think that's what's going to cause that switch. Because from personal experience, getting your ass kicked teaches you a little more than winning does.
Yeah.
When you're winning, you don't think you need to change anything because you're winning.
100%.
But when you get your ass kicked, you're just kind of like, oh, this didn't work. What do I need to do different?
Yep. These are jewels dropped by CJA for any new battlers that are watching this. Keep in mind, sometimes you got to get your fucking ass kicked to come back better than you were.
Right.
100%. Right. And now, this is where we're going to slightly step away from NOME before we get back into it, but we were just talking about how Geechee needs to take a break. Right. And unfortunately, during the stream, it gets announced that we have Geechee versus Disaster for the Ouroboros card on GTX.
Really?
Yes, and that's August 30th, I believe. End of August is going to be Geechee versus Diz.
I thought that was August 5th.
Or maybe it is the 5th. I have no clue when that card is. I thought it was the 30th, but maybe I'm way off.
You might be. I don't know. Well, it's sometime in fucking August, though.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to swear on this podcast? My bad.
Yes, sir, you are. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say.
Jimmy says that it is the 5th. All right, cool. Yeah. So August 5th, which less than a month away. So now Geechee has to prep and battle once again. I mean, Hollow is considered to be a lot of people's greatest of all time, if not on their Mount Rushmore. Disaster is also in that same category. And so, I mean, you don't pass the opportunity up to battle Disaster, I imagine. But Geechee's at the point where he could fucking say, I'll do it when I want to.
Right.
So, I mean, hopefully he ends up having a little bit of a better performance. And then maybe he takes a break after that. But it is announced.
Hopefully, man, because I love Geechee, bro, and he's like a real down to earth guy. Like
Yeah.
the one time I met him, he was just so fucking cool. He's just
Yeah.
one of those guys where you want to surround yourself with that energy and success and humbleness that he brings.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I just want it's I'm spoiled, bro. GT's given us like 1,000 great performances. He has one bad one, and I'm like, sit down for 6 months. You fucking idiot. Like, I'm so spoiled. But yeah, I'm not doubting Geechee. I'll never doubt Geechee. But
I agree.
that battle's it's gotta be a statement. It's gotta be a statement.
100%. I mean, it's not so much that the performances every time are making people say you need to sit down and take a break. For me, it's every single time that there is an event, he's on it, no matter how far apart those events are. I mean, when it was May,
Nah,
was it
for real.
May?
He's like literally taken like 2 months off in the past 4 years. It's insane.
Yeah, he had 3 battles, I think, in May, wasn't it? He had
That's insane.
he battled
What?
Jazz, he battled Clean on the first GTX, and he battled someone else, but I can't remember who that was. But needless to say, yeah, it was. Yep. Needless to say, he is putting in the kind of work that warrants putting him on Mount Rushmores. I mean, he's battled Lux in a year and a half span. He'll have battled Lux, Hollow, Diz. I mean, the only one left is Murder Mook, and I expect that that'll probably happen within the next year's time.
Yep.
If people are wanting to even see that. So I guess
I couldn't agree more.
Big announcement for GTX. Going to be huge.
Make sure you tune in. Shout out GTX, man. I hope I can hit your stage one day, and yeah, you know the vibes.
Yeah, big facts. And then next on the list, we now have, and this is really funny to me because when I'm looking at the NOME battles, when I'm looking at the order that they happened in, when I'm thinking about how they went down and what I saw, it's almost like every single time I saw something, the next battle kind of either had the same thing happen or it did what I wanted from the last battle. So we're talking about how Hollow needs to get his fucking ass kicked to maybe change things up a little bit.
I know which battle you're going to next.
And now we have Easy versus Goods.
Yep.
And we
That's
have
a 30, bro. That is a 30. Like
he got his fucking ass kicked.
Yo, Easy's the GOAT, bro. Like, we're gonna this time next year, we're gonna put him in the greatest of all time conversation. Some people are putting him up there now. Who's beating Easy to Black Captain?
Don't give me fucking questions like that, man. We want me to give you
anyone. There's no one. Cal's the only person who I think can even like rock with Easy.
And that, I mean, from what I've heard, that's something that's going to end up happening. I mean, probably
but if you put like the Hollow Geechee versus Easy, Geechee gets 30.
Yep.
Like, if you're taking it off recent performances, there's really not a battler out there besides maybe a Surf or a Cal that can beat Easy.
Yep.
And I still think they both lose. I think Surf and Cal would both lose to Easy. I don't think there's a battler out there right now that's beating Easy.
I agree. And you know what? This is the other interesting thing about it as well, is that when we're looking at the amount that Easy's battling, he's taking the appropriate breaks in between that I think is giving people that, so that the way that he battles and the topics that he always uses, that they don't get old.
Right.
They're still something that people want to see and they get excited to see.
Right.
So I have written down here, because I wanted to remind myself of this. Are we looking at the next, for lack of a better term, are we looking at the next Geechee? That sort of meteoric rise, some great wins that almost put him in the conversation of now he needs these bigger looks. Now he's.
So I think the only 3 rises we've ever seen in battle rap like this is Easy, Geechee, and Twerk. I think those are the 3 like quickest rises I've ever seen through battle rap. And I think he's at that point where he needs to be in these GOAT battles and GOAT battles only. And at this point, I think he's at that kind of level where like you can't deny his numbers. He's like a Drake. You may hate him, you may think he's one-dimensional. That's great, but he's still out here being the GOAT, like at this current moment. So it's like every time Easy's on a card, I'm hype.
Yes.
And I don't even like. I'm not selling bricks of white, but every time I fucking hear Easy rap, it's like I'm Scarface, and we're all just living in it.
Yeah.
He just gives you a different feel when he steps into that ring. It's like I don't know, man. He's got that dog in him for real. He's just one of those guys. And man, he's got a fan in me for life. And he reviewed me versus Mike P. He said I got 30, but still, I don't give a fuck. Mike P's got a city, so he's gonna be a little biased that way. So
makes sense. Yeah, no, he's really, really, he's great, and it's exciting to see someone so that it isn't just a random thing that happens every once in a while. Like we're not waiting another 2 or 3 classes of battlers to have another Geechee or another Twerk. We're seeing it happen now, and he's taking the appropriate break so that it doesn't get boring, which I think
is great.
If he was battling the same amount that Geechee was, I bet people would start to get bored of what he's saying, and he would start losing battles off that.
Yep. I think when you see the style enough, you learn how to break it down. But if you're constantly switching, Easy doesn't really switch his style. It's the talk's different, and that's a real thing. But when he's taking the perfect amount of stagnant breaks where we miss seeing an Easy performance after 3 or 4 cards, we're like, yo, where the fuck's Easy? He's doing it right. That's something I wish I would have learned fucking 2 years ago. Or just like make them miss me, Yeah. But with that said, Easy 3-0. Goods was okay. He had a couple good lines. I like a lot of his rich talk. Don't get me wrong, but I think he got his ass. I think he got his ass kicked.
I think that Easy clearly won. Yeah, he definitely clearly won that battle. And then next up, we had Tay Rock versus T.
30. I don't even need to explain this one. 30.
The return.
What the fuck was T-Top saying at certain points?
It was not the avenue that I expected him to go down.
Yeah, the whole tranny thing, man, is just so like, all right, here we go again. It's like my birthmark. Like when people bring that up, they're just like, here we go again. It's overplayed.
This is something that Cope and I talked about when the battle got announced was, can T-Top use the same angles that everyone always uses and do it differently enough that it makes it interesting?
Right.
And the answer is no. He did not. He did not do that at all.
Totally no.
I would say that this would be the return of NOME Tay Rock as well, which is great to see. He had a different kind of energy, and it was, that's what you expect from him when he's on NOME. And I mean, he's always on NOME. So
I just got a notification. My phone's on 5%. And I thought I had a charger in here, but I don't. So I'm just letting you know if my phone dies, I apologize.
That's fine. You know what we'll do then? Give me a quick rundown of JC versus Swamp.
So, a debatable battle. By the end of the night, though, I was even exhausted, bro. Sometimes events just be taking too long, bro. Like, I don't want 45 minutes in between each battle, bro. I shouldn't be able to walk to a grocery store, order a sub, have them make the whole sub while I'm there, and then walk home and the next battle not start yet. That shouldn't be a fucking thing. That shouldn't be a fucking thing. I thought it was a debatable battle. I had JC 2-1, but I'm not mad at anyone saying Swamp 2-1 because I think Swamp could debatably get the first 2.
Yeah. No, it was a great battle. I think that it was one of the better finals for a tournament where
Yep.
both guys were really competitive and showed out.
Yeah,
And
I didn't like some of the judging though,
I
personally, through the whole tournament. I think Mike P should be a judge.
I agree.
From home, I don't think he should be in the building. I think he should be at home. I like Tony Bro. I think he should be. He's a Rochester native. Shout out him. I think he should be a judge. Um, I think there's been a lot of good judges over the past couple of UMs that we could bring back too, but I wasn't a fan of the judging through the whole thing.
Yeah,
Respectfully.
I agree. It was spotty up and down. I've got past podcasts where I shit on the judging with Cope quite a bit, but I think it was great. And I'll ask your opinion on this too. Do we now consider Swamp to be in the category of deserving the big looks and big stage events now? I think you got to put him on these events, even if it's just an open.
Yes, I don't know, man. When I see Swamp, I'm excited to see what he brings, but he's not to the point where I'm gonna go out there and buy a ticket. You know what I'm saying? And I think those guys that are the big names, like those upper echelon that are getting the upper echelon names, are people who are selling tickets, and that's with all due respect because I love his style. I love the energy he brings to the ring. He just, I thought he beat the guy I consider the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Clear 3-0.
Yeah.
But I think he deserves the big names, but it just like when I see certain battles, it's just like, all right, I'm gonna watch it. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't entice me like Easy versus Geechee does, or a Easy versus like I said, I respect the work Swamp puts in, but like Jimmy said, but it's like I don't know, it's just he has to have a couple more of those performances to really get me enticed.
To get you to the point where you want to buy a ticket to see him battle.
Yes, him
Well,
and him only. You know, if
would
he was
you?
headlining, I would buy that ticket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where my fandom needs to be for him to start getting those really, really big plays. I wouldn't mind seeing him against like a John or something like that, you know, like a bigger name. But John also doesn't really do that for me.
Don't even get me started on John. I can't stand watching John.
Yeah, it's like, that's meh.
It's pretty meh. But at least we can say confidently now that Swamp is at the point where now if I see him on a card, like if I have a big card that comes out and I see it, I don't go, why the fuck is that battle?
Right.
So I might not buy the ticket to see it, but I'm not going to be upset that I bought a ticket of an event where he is battling on. So
exactly.
That's a big positive out of this for him as well. Not just because I'm pretty sure JC ended up splitting.
A bunch of new fans. Like I wasn't a huge fan of Swamp, and I'm not a huge fan now, but I'm definitely a bigger fan of Swamp than I was. He found some kind of niche, and that talk is what I think got him into the game, and he kind of lost it for a bit and seemed to find it through his Ultimate Madness run.
Yeah, I agree. So big ups to Swamp. Big ups to URL for not actually having Gluezy versus Sirius Jones on NOME because that is a battle where I would have been like, why the fuck did I buy this ticket to go see this event?
100%.
But with that being said, we have a little bit of battery left, and so we are going to quickly go to the big thing that's coming up for you. We're only a week away. I mean, there's a reason that his name is this. There we go. Right there. Defiance 7. Oh, no fucking way. His phone died just now. I guess with that being said, it's just going to be me for a little bit. So it's CJA versus King Jables. That's so ironically funny. I'm sure him and I will talk about it soon enough. But Defiant 7 is going to be next week, and originally was supposed to be headlined by Death the Kid versus Kid Slade. But it is now CJA versus King Jables that has taken over that top main event spot. And really exciting to see. You've kind of got two guys that are very similar when it comes to their ability to punch. Obviously, Jables has a lot more experience, a lot bigger battles than CJA does, but the work that CJ's been putting in lately, going international, doing these big battles back to back, has him primed for this opportunity. And so hopefully it ends up going, it's definitely going to be a banger. And they really did travel to get their name up. They 100% put in the work to get to the point that they're at now and get that kind of relevance that they are. So really excited for that one. This is also where CJ would be talking mad shit about Jables, and I gave him free reign. I told him, go ahead, talk mad shit, do all that stuff. And of course, I took too long going through NOME, but it was a pretty big event, I guess. They totally made their way up through everything. They, from No Coast with CJ on the New England side of No Coast, going up, battling on iBattle, battling on Beast Mode. He also did GZs. He's also been on the main page, taking a very similar pathway that Jables did, minus the No Coast section, but doing a lot of stuff very similar and having similar styles. I think this was a given of a matchup for iBattle to do, and it's really exciting. It's going to be crazy, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm sure a lot of people are as well. Couple other really awesome battles that are going to be on that card. Knox versus Mac the Captain. Mac the Captain is putting in a lot of work these days when it comes to iBattle, getting his name up as well. Just had a crazy one with K Venom, who was in contention for the #1 headband over on iBattle. And so that's going to be a great opportunity for him to also get his name up against a young guy in Knox that is really doing a lot of work. So definitely make sure that you check out the 5 and 7. That is in a week, I do believe. And it'll be on the iBattle TV app. So definitely check that out. And then additionally, what we were going to get into and talk about just after that was Hostile Takeover 2. So the huge card that iBattle is announcing for August, it's going to be a very, very big deal. For anyone that's watching, if you have any questions about the iBattle stuff, feel free to ask it. Considering I don't have a co-host anymore at this point in time, I don't want to be just a drowning, monotone voice of monotony. Shout out to the iBattle app gang. Shout out to Lex. Shout out to Paul. Everyone over at iBattle. And when it comes to Hostile Takeover 2, from what I've seen, it's been not just Lex that's been setting up the battles. He's also had some help from Sweeney, who's another iBattle vet and a great battler, really great throughout the community. And shouts out to him for helping set up these matches specifically. So the main event is Real Sick versus Red Flag. And so we're coming off a performance where Sick kind of had some issues. A lot of people saying he got 30'd. A lot of people, well, I mean, the consensus is that he lost for sure, regardless of how badly he did lose. And so now Flag has to go up against a returning from adversity Real Sick. And it's going to be it's going to be a crazy battle, I'm sure. A lot of people are super hyped for this. I think that Red Flag has been on enough of a tear that he deserves kind of that really big iBattle look. And this one is for the cult overall. So really excited to see that. We also have Homeschool versus Lord Giovanni. Shout out to Sweeney. He's hilarious. He's one of the best, especially when it comes to comedic timing. He's fantastic. Would be awesome to see him back on Beast Mode. So Homeschool versus Lord Giovanni. Obviously, both of these guys are very well regarded for their pen. And I think that that's the idea with this matchup, is that Gio has been getting better looks each time. He's been improving each time, really putting in the work to be able to get big matches. And I think that this was the best in-house iBattle look matchup-wise when it comes to what he's looking for. And so on a big card like this, he's going to get the opportunity to once again battle in front of, really important people in the culture and go up against someone who's very well regarded as, the best up and coming new guy that iBattle has had for the last couple of years. I don't even consider him an up and comer anymore. He's just one of the best that iBattle has. And so it's going to be awesome to see that battle go down. We also have one of the most unique battlers in Mulips going up against Ines. Ines has been on a tear lately, and so really exciting to see him go up against one of the most enigmatic guys that iBattle has. I'm excited to see where the direction that both of these guys end up taking, how it's going to go. Obviously, Ness has the best flow in Battlerap, and that's without question. It's very easily seen that that's kind of the direction that's going. So really excited to see that one. We have Louis Valentine versus Appa for the number one headband. So this will be the first challenge that Louis ends up having. He just won it from Jack Casserole for the first number one headband battler. Sort of, I guess, considered to be their champion, at least at the top of the rankings that they have. And so Louis going against Appa, both of these guys from Maryland, that's going to be a really important battle for their state. It's going to be a really important battle for the iBattle rankings. Appa is one of the best up-and-comers lately. He's kind of figured everything out. He's fantastic. He's going to be very exciting to see on all of the platforms that he's on, from GTX to King of the Dot to iBattle. So we'll end up seeing what happens there. The surprise, we have Louis for the win there. The surprise battle that everyone wasn't expecting that ended up being on there, which is Phoebo versus Saga. So speaking of the Phoebo saga, him having some Forrest Gump bars, getting in air quotations banned from the league itself, and Lex talking about how Phoebo isn't welcome anymore. It was a very funny story to build up the hype for this battle that ends up getting released. And Saga and Phoebo is going to be great. They're both Christian battlers, which I don't know if that's going to play into the material that they write for one another or how that's going to go down, but it's really cool to see Phoebo getting that kind of big look. Obviously, the way that Lex develops talent, it's pretty insane, all of the quality battlers that are coming out of iBattle. And so seeing Phoebo in his 10th battle getting Saga is a big look for him, and hopefully he capitalizes on that. It'll be really awesome to see how he does there. Jimmy saying Saga's going to win. That's one of those things where if Phoebo does great against Saga and makes it debatable, or, just does better than everybody expect him to against a professional like Saga, it might be just as important for him career-wise, being this soon in his career overall. And then we also have Lou Castro versus King Yoshimitsu, another great guy that has been coming up in iBattle, that is getting a big opportunity, a big look in Lou Castro. Castro coming back to iBattle again. He always puts on a great performance, so that one's going to be fantastic. And we have Mike versus Archduke Redcat. So Mike being a battler from Spaces, who put on one hell of a performance in his debut on iBattle live, and Archduke, who originally came from TikTok and who is at the point now where he's putting in work against really big battlers. He definitely did. It's going to be a great one. He's getting another opportunity. Just battled Kang. He battled Georgie Roots over when he came over from England. Overall, it's going to be a very great way to start off the night if it ends up being the opening battle. And overall, with all of that, That's all for the week. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and join the Discord link that is in the sidebar. I would never ask anybody to subscribe. That's the line that Cope usually says. I will ask people to subscribe. Do that shit. Like and subscribe because the cool people already have. And so you want to be included in that. It's not peer pressure. It's just right. So make sure you do that. We'll be back next Sunday. Sean says Grid versus Franchise drops on Tuesday. Everybody check in the Beast Mode Battles Gold page, Grid versus Franchise, from the breakthrough event that Pepe and I were talking about last weekend. This is an absolutely fantastic in-house Beast Mode battle that you will want to see. It was great. But we'll see you all next weekend on the Bodycast. Once again, Cope should be back.